Hello, everyone. Seems like a pretty small class today. Class of one. Huh. Oh, there's Mike. Okay. Mike, you want to do the mandala for us?
Yes, thank you. Sashi Puki Jukshing Me Tok Trom Rirabling Shi Ninde Gempadi Sange Shingdu Mikte Wargi Drokun Namdak Shingla Druparsho Idam Guru Ratnamandalakam Niryatayami.
Go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, compassion, knowledge, and strength, the Dharma, the enlightened side of truth, and the Sangha, the community of realized beings. From the virtuous merit I create from the practice of giving with the understanding of emptiness, moral discipline with the understanding of emptiness, patience with the understanding of emptiness, joyous effort with the understanding of emptiness, concentration, wisdom, may I attain the state of a Buddha for the benefit of all living beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, compassion, knowledge, and strength, the Dharma, the enlightened side of truth, and the Sangha, the community of realized beings. From the virtuous merit I create from the practice of giving with the understanding of emptiness, moral discipline with the understanding of emptiness, patience with the understanding of emptiness, joyous effort with the understanding of emptiness, concentration, wisdom, may I attain the state of a Buddha for the benefit of all living beings. I go for refuge until I am aligned to the Buddha, compassion, knowledge, and strength, the Dharma, the enlightened side of truth, and the Sangha, the community of realized beings. From the virtuous merit I create from the practice of giving with the understanding of emptiness, moral discipline with the understanding of emptiness, patience with the understanding of emptiness, joyous effort with the understanding of emptiness, concentration and wisdom, I will attain the state of a Buddha for the benefit of all living beings. Okay, let's see, there's something else. Yeah. Okay, so it's going to be relatively quick rejoicing since there's not many of us here to do so. We'll start with Svetlana.
Hello, dear Venerable Sumati. Hello, everyone. Uh, Today, I'd like to rejoice maybe in small thing that I started to cook at home, and I cooked vegetables in a stove. So it was very nice to cook at home, and it is delicious. So I rejoice to develop new skills and dedicated so that in the future other people can also joyfully develop new skills which can sustain their health and long life. And another thing to rejoice, maybe it's from a negative episode that some relative of my friend was passed away. But when we met before the new year and she was talking about his condition and etc., I started to tell her about death, and she was so anxious. She told that like, no, 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 don't tell me about it, anything. And now when it happened, I think she's upset and very distressed. But what it relates to rejoicing, that we have this wisdom that can give meaning to life and can give us more strength and motivation to move further with anything we have, trying our best to do that we can do in our life, to plant seeds for our next moment, so it will be easier to go on the path to our ultimate goal for the sake of everyone. So I'm rejoicing in our wisdom and dedicate we have it more and deeper.
Well, it's interesting because I think maybe the most impact for me has been the death meditation. And source of all my good and three principal paths are very high on my list, but the death meditation course and what we discuss in death and stuff in these foundation courses um, really take away the fear I may have. I don't know that I ever feared death, but um, it helps me greatly deal with the idea of death and what's going to happen next. So yeah, I'm sad for the people that don't have this training because it really makes it much more comfortable for me anyway. So okay, Mike, what do you have to rejoice about?
Mike just wrote a message that he is away from computer for the next few minutes.
Oh,
So,
okay. Well, I guess Anna, do you have anything you do rejoice in, or are you just interpreting?
Or can you hear me in English channel?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, dear Venerable Sumati. Hello, everyone. About my rejoicing, I did some tasks for ACI platform for dear Venerable Gelse. She will teach ACI 14 from tomorrow, I think even. Yeah, we will have the first class, and I did some preparations for it, and I very happy that teachings are spread around the world, and rejoicing about this that more teachers start to teach online. I'm very happy about it, really, and more people can reach these teachings.
Good.
Thank you.
Well, that's good. Thank you for all the work you do for ACI. Okay, Tatiana, what you have to rejoice about?
Добрый вечер, Лама Сумати. Добрый вечер всем.
Hello, Lama Sumati. Hello, everyone. Sorry, I am cooking. I'm in hurry. I rejoice that I have food. I have money to buy food, and I have a lot of different things that helps my mom to be healthy and helps my client. I'm very glad about this.
Good. So what are you cooking that requires black gloves?
Это я готовлю и сразу мою посуду, чтобы быстрее закончить и прийти на
I
занятия.
cook and wash the dishes just to finish quickly and come to our class.
No, okay. I was wondering, I never had to cook with black gloves before, but doing dishes, that makes sense. Well, good to have you here, and I'm glad you're okay and things are going well. Okay, for Daria, do you have you want to rejoice?
Daria also wrote in the chat that she is just recording. She can't talk,
Okay.
but she is rejoicing that she is in the class.
Okay. Well, my rejoicing. I got my wife and myself Nook tablets so we can download the ACI reading material and stuff and have it with us more easily than having all around a main computer. And it's been very frustrating because the operation of the Nook color is, I thought it would be, since it's Android, I thought it would be very similar to my phone. And it is in some ways, but in most ways it isn't. So you're supposed to be able to connect it to your computer and download directly to it from your computer. And I tried doing that for, oh boy, at least 2 hours. And I finally figured out that I had adapted a USB-C cable to go to a USB-B jack, and it wasn't working. And I finally thought maybe it's supposed to be USB-C to USB-C, and lo and behold, everything worked fine. I wasn't completely capable of handling my frustration. I did get angry. Well, I got frustrated when it wasn't working properly, but I solved it. Now I'm going to have the challenge of working with my wife's Windows 10 computer. Back when she bought that computer, USB-C jacks weren't even on the horizon. So I'm not sure how we're going to download to her, probably via email. But so I rejoice in that I caught myself getting frustrated and I fought it. I didn't succeed completely, but I fought it. And that's half the battle with rejoicing and things like that is if you try to not do the, in my case, getting frustrated, that's half the battle. I was cooking. I cooked ahead some meals ahead yesterday, and the recipe is a long-standing spinach patty recipe that I have, and the patties were sticking to the griddle, and I caught myself before I got frustrated, and I just worked with it, and it ended up coming out okay. So frustration is really what I'm dealing with now, I think. I'm doing okay. All righty. So let's go ahead and finish off Course 7 with Class 10. Now that we've covered all 64 vows, 18 root and 46 secondary, we need to spend some time talking about how to keep them. There are 5 steps or attitudes that must be present for you to keep your vows. The first one is respect the speech of Lord Buddha. According to Geshe the first step of your vows is to think of them as being spoken and written by a person who could see your mind, life, and thoughts, and created the vows to help you. The vows were created and enumerated as circumstances required during Lord Buddha's lifetime. He didn't just sit down and write a list of rules. For instance, the monk's vows that I have were written one at a time as he noticed certain behaviors that were not conducive to being a monk. He'd write a new rule. So it's interesting that everything that was written thousands of years ago is still very germane today. I think that's really remarkable and shows how the omniscience of a Buddha, of Lord Buddha, really does work. Master Sangha, through Lord Maitreya, assembled the vows into one place to help the disciples of Lord Buddha. You have to think of him as he spoke them for you personally, knew your needs in mind, etc. You must think of these vows as being for you, not you alone, but specifically for you as a gift from an enlightened being. The best way to have a good life is to force yourself to reap good karma by keeping the vows. It's like greasing the wheel to have the direct perception of emptiness. A vowed behavior, by keeping them, you create extremely powerful good karma. The better we keep the Bodhisattva vows and our freedom vows and our refuge commitments, the faster the direct perception of emptiness will happen, all things being equal. So, number 1, think of them being made specifically for you. Number 2, you should have the 3 intentions. Number one, intend to follow the vows because an enlightened being has made the effort to reach out to you and give this to you. Number two, intend to reach Buddhahood. Think big that you can and will become enlightened in this lifetime. Set the goal to reach paradise. Intend to help all beings. And really, it's the four infinite thoughts. You're going to help limitless, countless beings. Number three, you take the vows based upon the prior two steps. Step one, you hear the vows as spoken by Lord Buddha. You get these thoughts. If I keep them well, I can teach total enlightenment and be able to help all sentient beings in an ultimate way. Step three, so I want to take and keep the vows. The last one is you respect the vows as the highest thing you have. Think for a moment, what is the most precious thing in your life right now? Then stop and realize. You have to realize this. Realize these vows, once taken, are ultimately the most precious thing in your life. If you have kids or has a husband, these are an extremely close second. And you must feel that the Bodhisattva vows are the top, most important thing in your life. And we should enjoy them, protect them, and cherish them. Our attitude should be, boy, I have these vows I get to keep and check on. To avoid breaking your vows, you need to know them. So how to confess breaking secondary vows? You can't just confess to the dog or the cat or your mom or your dad. They have to be someone who's a Buddhist practitioner. You can confess to a Hinayana or Mahayana practitioner. The person doesn't have to have bodhisattva vows, but must understand the situation and its gravity. The main point is that you're sincere and don't intend to do it again. You should do the confession regularly with someone else. As an ordained person, I have to do what we call sojung. It's confess to another ordained person every 2 weeks. You must be using the four powers during your confession and sincerely regret your action. Regular confession, if sincere, which is really hard, is quite purifying. Tsongkhapa then details a little bit more on the degree of seriousness for breaking a vow. So here are the 5 factors that make a deed more or less serious, breaking a vow. First one is the nature of the vow. Certain of the vows that are more serious to break than others, primary versus secondary. Number 2, the instigator. What was it that made you break the vow? The following instigators are ranged from least to most serious. Not knowing the vows, having a mental affliction attack, or disrespect for your vows, not thinking they're important and discounting the vow. In my case, I explain this. I use the example of someone who says, "Is my karma but," versus "my karma so." I don't know why anybody would take the vows if they don't intend to keep them. So in our case, it's I have this vow, but it's I have this vow, so I need to behave in this manner. Number 3, having the 3 poisons. These are in the mind all the time and poisoning the mind. the three poisons: ignorant liking, being attracted to or not wanting to lose something, the idea that you must protect it and grasp onto it to keep it, that's karmically, absolutely karmically backwards. To have something, you must give things away. We ignorantly like something and behave karmically backwards, and this causes future problems for ourselves. The corollary to that is wanting to be separated from an undesirable object in an ignorant way. Trying to get rid of something in a karmically wrong way. To dislike it, struggle with it, that's karmically opposite of what you should do. This poisons your mind all day long. When things happen you don't like, you try to get out of it in a wrong way by disliking it or striking out. That's the pervasive stuff. Well, that's my take on the pervasive suffering. We have suffering of suffering, normal pain. We have suffering of change, and we have suffering, pervasive suffering, which, as you know, I like to include not only the fact when we're born, we start to die, but you never know what the next karma is that's going to ripen. So you can take that to be a suffering, which I think most people do, or you can take it to be a part of the bigger game. You don't know. Instead of thinking, oh, what bad karma is going to ripen, think of, well, what joyous karma is going to ripen today? What karma can I rejoice in? And that's why when we rejoice, we're rejoicing for not only the karma that ripened, but our response to it. So in the case of a bad karma, a frustration karma ripening for me, I laugh and I try very hard to say, okay, I've burned that one off. Now another one rises quickly. Okay, I've got to burn that one off. I must have inconvenienced a lot of people in my life because I keep burning off frustration. But if you have that attitude, you'll be in much better shape. Having the third poison, having ignorance about how things exist. That's the basis for ignorant wanting, ignorant liking, and ignorant disliking. This poison makes the other two happen. The more of any or all of these three poisons that there are present, the heavier the bad deed or breaking of the vow. The object. There are lighter objects, such as the example of killing. That would be an animal or an insect. It doesn't have as much mental capacity to understand and become enlightened as compared to a person. Now, I had a situation where I was teaching and a student got up and left in the middle of when I was saying this because she thought I was implying it was okay to kill animals. If she'd waited, she would have heard me say, it's not as bad as killing a human, but it's still wrong, and you still reap resulting bad karma. Killing a human or embryo is a medium object. A heavy object would be your parents or a teacher or a fellow student. But I think parents is the most because they're responsible for bringing you into this life and letting you have the opportunity to practice the Dharma. Accumulation, number 5. If you break 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 secondary vows and don't confess, it would be less serious. Breaking a larger number, which you can still count, is a medium seriousness. And if you break more than you can count multiple times, then it's a heavy seriousness. 4 causes for breaking the vows. You not know them? This is what the booklet's for, keeping your book or keeping the program we made for the phone. Laziness, carelessness, forgetfulness, rationalization. Some require each action each day, others require behavior changes. You need to think, I'm keeping my book, or however you monitor your vows, so that you can become totally aligned in this lifetime. We must cultivate our mindfulness of our vows. Identify your worst mental affliction and use the vows to work on it and conquer it. Don't disrespect the vows. Honor and cherish them. They are not punishment. I think it's easy for people that don't know much about Buddhism to think all these rules and everything are a way to make your life miserable. I find them to be quite refreshing and keep me on the straight and narrow. The 5 benefits for keeping your vows. You die with ease and happiness, having lived a moral life serving others. That's important. Leading a moral life is great, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's all the more powerful to be looking out for others as you do so. Another benefit is the Buddhists consider you to be a child of the Buddhas and are looking out for you. You will be reborn where the Dharma is practiced, and you will have time to do practice. In this life, if you keep them well, you will see a change for the better. And lastly, in future lives, you'll receive the vows and become an even greater master of morality. Use these vows as guidelines for behavior. Help each other gently. Try not to judge. Really try not to judge. Instead, focus on your behavior and not others. Never use the vows as a weapon. If you misjudge a situation or act from a misunderstanding, we don't break a vow, but try very hard to use your understanding of karma and emptiness to push yourself a bit out of the comfort zone. That's pretty much all I have for this last class. It's pretty short. Now we need to decide how many people are going to attend the review session. So, Mike, are you going to come to the review session? Okay. Svetlana, you'll be there. Tatiana, will you come to the review session? Yes? Okay. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, Svetlana?
Katya Olivares wrote me to tell you that she is not able to join the class today, but she will be glad to participate in the review questions.
Okay. Well, I've got the review question matrix right here. So what I need to do is find out. Give me a second. I'm going to find out how many questions are on the final. I'll just take a second. That's weird. Huh. Well, it's going to take me more than a second. Okay, I'll take care of that, and I will email Okay, so we're going to have Katya, Svetlana, Mike, and Tatiana. No, Katrina isn't going to be able to be there. Okay, so we'll have 4. Actually, I've got the time now. Let me just bear with me a minute. My computer reset itself. That's always frustrating when the computer does that. Okay, let me get to my desktop, Dharma. There we are. Course 7. Final. Okay. 27 questions on the final. So, okay, Mike, you have 1, 5, 9, 13, 17, 21, and 25. I need to repeat that.
1, 5, 9, 13, 17, 25.
1, 9, 1, 5, 9, 13, 27, 17, 21, and 25.
21, 25. Got it.
Okay, and that'll be Mike. Okay, Katya will have, and Svetlana, if you can share this with Katya, she'll have 2, 6, 10, 14, 18, 22, and 26. And Svetlana, you'll have 3, 7, 11, 15, 19, 23, and 27. And Tatiana, you're going to have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, and 20. Yeah, 24. You'll end on 24. So again, you'll have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and 24. Okay. Oops, she has a question. Go ahead.
Лама Самати досточтимый, и я хотела спросить по
Venerable
поводу...
Sumati, I want to ask about vows.
Okay.
Вы говорили, что проведете нам церемонию
You
после
talk that
обсуждения
you will
с
give
вами.
vows to us
На
after all our
курсе
discussions, and
медицины мне дали
when I
какие-то
was
знания.
in
Я бы хотела их
Buddha
повторить.
medicine retreat, I
И
take
вообще у меня вопрос по
um,
поводу
vows like
принимать вообще.
wishes, and I want to renew them. And I also have a question: what are conditions to get vows?
Well, traditionally you ask 3 times And then we can do the vows over Zoom. We just have to set a date and do it. So you'd have to set up an altar and have offerings ready, and then we do the vow ceremony. So you'd be renewing your vows, not taking them for the first time, correct? You got the wish, you got them in the form of the wish or in the form of action at Man of Medicine Buddha. I mean, at the Medicine Buddha teaching.
Tatiana got vows in the form of the wish.
The wish. So you want to take them in the form of action now?
Я не знаю.
I don't know.
Немножко запуталась Анна, по поводу, когда можно.
I
Я
messed
слышала,
up
что не ранее 73
when
года,
I
но год
can
еще не
get
прошел.
vows in the form of action. I heard that I need to wait a half of a year, and this term is not finished for now. So I need to wait a half of the year, or I can take them now.
Well, if you agreed to wait half a year, you should wait half a year. When will that half a year end?
Ну, дело в том, что меня никто не спрашивал, это я
Nobody
как
asked
бы
me.
изучала, и где-то там
When I was
слышала информацию.
studying ACI 7, I heard some information. I don't know it clear. Do I need to wait a half of the year or not?
No, no. If you have the wish to take the vows in the form of action, we can do that when we can set up a mutual time.
Я благодарю. И еще вопрос, Анечка.
Thank you. And one more
У
question.
нас был разговор, я просто вижу, что не все
I
присутствуют,
had a
что
talk.
рассчитывали,
I
что
see
как бы
that
был
not are
разговор о том, что
present
Лама Сумати
now.
проведет
And
церемонию
was a talk that dear Lama Sumati will give us vows after the review class. Maybe I messed up something and our plans are changed.
это не только для себя, я как бы
I ask not only for me, but for all our group. So the question, will Lama Sumati give us vows for some people who want to renew, for some people who want to get? Is it in our plan?
Yes. I can't give them after the review because it takes too long. So let's plan on if people want to retake the Bodhisattva vows, let's plan on doing that on Monday, a week from today. That'll be the 10th. Let me look and see on my calendar. Hang on before I make that commitment. Let me look and see what my calendar says. March 10th. I have nothing going on March 10th. Okay. Will that work for you, Tatiana, to do the ceremony on next Monday? Okay. Who all would like to attend that?
Благодарю.
Okay. Okay, so what I need you to do, I've got to move my, come on. There. Okay, now I'm looking properly. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to make an altar and you need to put an offering. Traditionally for the Bodhisattva vows, it's a bowl of fruit, a nice bowl of fruit on your altar. And then we can give the vows. Do you have lifetime layperson vows, Tatiana?
Да, вы лично мне их дали.
Yes, I got them from you.
No. Good for me. Well, you can't get the Bodhisattva vows in the form of action without the lifetime layperson vows. So good. Okay. So, Svetlana, if you can let the rest of the class know we're going to do this on Monday, the 10th. And excellent. I'll be happy to do it. That's going to be very nice. Okay. Let's dedicate class. May the source of benefit and goodness, the Dharma, spread and expand. May the beings upholding the Dharma have excellent health. May the source of happiness and well-being for all embodied beings, the Dharma taught by the Buddhas, always increase. And may the merit of my life and my practice be for the benefit of all living beings, especially all my students. Okay, we'll see you on Thursday. Now let's make sure of that. Thursday the 6th. Yeah. Okay. Thursday the 6th, and we'll see you then and get ready for the review class. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Спасибо. Всего доброго.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
I will. You all do likewise. Okay, bye-bye.
Большое спасибо за перевод.